Hi, you are watching prestigious Stone Collection TV. Today we will talk about world number 1 salt mine. In this video I will tell about Khewra salt mine's history, and also explain how salt getting out. Dear viewers, Pakistan have world's most salty reservoirs of salt. There are so many salt deposits in the mountains, and they contain so much salt. The salt reserves in them cannot be estimated. However, due to the large area spread over the amount of salt, it has been recognized as the largest reserve in the world. And these mountains of salt are called Khohistan or salt rain. Poland has the second largest salt reserves after Pakistan. Khohistan salt extends from near Jhelum to Karlabagh, Mianwali and Kohat. And at the moment, salt is being extracted from 2 to 3 places in Khohistan salt. But the most famous of these is Khewra, from where the highest amount of salt is extracted. In fact, as much salt is extracted from other places in Pakistan. In general, only a small amount of salt is extracted from the mines. Khewra is a small, beautiful town near Dardan, and to its north continues the Khohistan salt, while in the south is the plains of Punjab. Most of the city's population is involved in the salt trade or mining. The distance from Islamabad to Khewra is 3 kilometers and the journey takes about 3 to 3.5 hours. But if you come from Lahore, you can reach Khewra via Karian and Sur. History is silent about how humans first discovered salt and learned how to use it. But according to geologists' research on salt so far, the area is now rich in salt. Millions of years ago today, this saltwater reservoir of the ocean was submerged in the ocean floor. And in the process of transformation as a result of the spring, these cracks have come into existence. Later, the ocean ceased to exist, but this salt layer was preserved inside the mountains and deeper than the earth. According to research, these salt mountains are 3 billion years old. These salt deposits belong to the Precambrian time, which is the oldest period on Earth. However, there are many well-known stories and traditions about the use of salt. However, it is widely agreed in one tradition that Alexander the Great, famous for his salt of the mountains in 3 BC, he encamped at Khewra to fight Raja Porus and hid his troops in the mountains of Khewra. While the troops of Raja Porus were busy preparing for the encounter at Pindardan, Alexander the Great's horse and some other cattle fell ill and started licking the mud walls. So their stomachs were healed. Then Alexander and his army got some credit. And when they tasted the walls, they feared that it was salt. In the 11th century, Mahmud Ghaznavi defeated the Hindus and made the Janjua dynasty the ruler. And during the Mughal period, this salt mine came under the control of the imperial government. An important book of history written during the reign of Emperor Akbar, Ani-Akbari, mentions the export of salt from here. During the Sikh rule in the Punjab, salt profits continue to be made. Scientific-based salt mining begins in Khewra from 1849. And in 1872 a low-gauge railway line laid to bring salt out of the mine. And the horses were galloping in front of the boxes full of salt. And in 1925, electric engines began removing salt cans. This made it easier to remove the salt from the ear. Earlier digging could be done with hand tools. Now with the help of electric machines, digging has started. At that time the salt mines were headquartered in Delhi, and from there British officers used to come and visit. Inside the mine is a main entrance, which seems to be much smaller than the height of the mountain. But looking at the door, it doesn't look like it's a vast world full of salt. People who work in these mines have been working in these mines for generations. There is complete darkness inside the mine and light bulbs illuminate the inner world here. There is a sandstone wall on either side of the main doors of the mine, and it is gypsum stone, which goes within 2,500 feet of the main gate. The place where the salt deposits begin is a wide space like a square. On the west side of the square is a small mosque made of salt nails and blocks. The salt that is extracted from Khewra is present in the form of rock salt and is uniformly formed into blocks. They are salt-like transparent, and the blocks are hollowed out from the inside to create beauty. And when this bulb is lit, innumerable shadow colors flicker from these transparent bricks, and the lights of the colors burst and spring appears strangely. This mosque, built just 25 years ago, leads to a place where water flows all the time. This water comes from the mountains and flows continuously, and after a while it starts dripping in the form of drops while the front part of it is very dry. And the scene is spectacular, as if a carpenter had carved the marble into rows of pearls. And water drips from some places and freezes in such a way that it looks like dripping from the roof. This place is called rock salt. Inside the mine is salt of different colors and shadows. Sometimes it is clear and transparent, sometimes it is white and gray, and sometimes it is reddish. Ramkhani and Masara are considered to be the top salt. About 5,000 mound of salt is extracted daily from the Khewra salt mine, and about 2,500 laborers work in 3 shifts. But you may be surprised that these workers are not allowed to take this salt home. They buy it like ordinary people. In fact, this law was made by the British, which is still in force today. When it comes to salt mines, mining is being done all the time. And some time ago these tunnels were measured, which was about 90 miles. The largest room inside these mines is called the Assembly Hall. It is 350 feet high. This room can be reached by climbing more than 500 steps from here, but it is a long and dangerous staircase. And because the stairs are not decked and it is dark, the person climbing the stairs can fall at any moment. A little further along the assembly hall is a narrow path with a lined forest on either side. And there are big ponds here, and the darkness is deep in these parts. However, if a laborer falls, people throw him a rope, which saves the drowning man who is actually swimming. About 60% of the salt obtained from Khewra is used in the Makazi tradition. In India, this salt of Khewra is considered to be very blessed, and visitors to the Kattas temple near Khewra take this salt with them, especially as a blessing. Different parts of these mines have been given different names like Sheesh Mahal, Bano Bazaar, Bharti Gate, etc. And these names are given to these parts because of some feature. For example, Sheesh Mahal is the area where light falls on the salt roof and wall, then tiny particles of salt condense like glass, which people come from far and wide to see. When the administrators saw that the number of people here was increasing day by day, they decided to earn money by tickets. And then people were given a chance to visit inside the tunnels by getting tickets. About 500 to 600 people visit these places every day with tickets. These people include foreigners. Different proximities are also used inside the mine. Sometimes there is a concert of songs, and sometimes there is a mushera. And the fact is that the salt mines in Khewra have a lot of activity for tourists, and the government can develop it and expand the area further. Extracting salt from the mine is an art, and if it is not planned, it can settle down, which can lead to loss of life. To prevent this, salt is extracted from an area of 40 to 50 feet, and the same amount of space is left empty, in the form of a pillar which protects against falling from the mountain above, and this pillar supports not only the roof but also the walls. In addition, lighthouses have been made for air circulation in the mine. Some mines have been dug so deep that water has come out of the ground, which has led to the formation of several districts. The corners of the mines have to be dug up to 200 a tunnel. Salt cannot be broken in salt mines with hammers or axes because salt is a very hard type of stone. Therefore, dynamite is used to break the salt, and the part of the roof that is to be broken is drilled with a special tool in the shape of a burmer. The hole is drilled to a depth of at least 5 feet and takes 3 to 4 hours to complete. After the hole is completed, it is filled with ammunition, and after filling the ammunition, the security personnel become alert and people are alerted. Then the place is blown up, causing large blocks of salt to break into rocks. When it is satisfied that no more blocks will fall, these pieces are loaded on the stomach and brought out.
Viewers, this is the story of Khewra which has been told briefly. I hope you have got a lot of information from this video.